Eastern Finals on TNT. The Milwaukee Bucks facing the Toronto Raptors.
Welcome. This is the Field Guide, and we're going to try something today. We're going to try to watch back an old basketball series. We're going to call it the Playback. Today, it's me, it's Clark, joined by two fellow Field Guide members. We got Matt and Luke. Welcome, boys.
What up, what up?
I think first, let's learn a little bit about when this was and what all of us were doing at that time, and what series we're watching, I guess, is a good thing to know. So we went back and we watched the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals up against the Raptors against the Bucks. And it was a lot of fun. So I think let's start with Luke. What were you doing in May of 2019?
Dude, May 2019. No, not at all. I don't even know if I don't think I really watched much basketball that year in general, but over the summer I was working at Camp Ozark and didn't have my phone, and I was getting updates about all these games. I remember them telling us about the round before Kawhi's buzzer beater against the 76ers. They told us in a dramatic fashion to everybody. Every morning they would give a sports announcement to everybody, and I learned about it at Camp Ozark, this whole series. So seeing it, I never went back and watched. I didn't have League Pass or whatever to go back and watch, and I knew who won, so I didn't really care to watch. But watching it back like this like opened my eyes. I learned so much from this, boys.
Wait, Luke, they were doing updates to the campers, or this was like to the counselors, like
to the campers. They would do morning announcements. We'd all meet. We'd do whatever, like get the day started, whatever, and then it would be like it's time for the sports announcements, and they would like do it as like a I don't know, in dramatic fashion, for everybody. But yeah, they would tell us all the updates for like the NBA playoffs and whatever else goes on in the summer.
So when you went back and watched the Kawhi shot, and this is the shot to win the 76ers Game 7 series, Eastern Conference, what they now call the shot, which I feel like there's a few shots in NBA history that have that title, but anyway, it's a good one to have the title. Look, did it live up to the Ozark pantomime?
What's crazy, man, that shot is, I feel like I'm almost the most detached from any like big NBA shot in my lifetime. And I think it's because I didn't experience it and then the hype all around it, because I didn't have social media or wasn't watching TV or anything. So it's weird because there's never been another time in my life since I've had a phone that's happened to me. So it's kind of weird, but no, that shot's insane. And I bet at the time, it's like even crazier if you actually got to watch it or experience what it did for that team.
Yeah, I guess I'll interject what I was. I also realized about halfway through watching this that I haven't watched this series, and then I kind of just caught myself up on what was going on in the playoffs that year. Like, I was keeping up with basketball, but I don't remember watching a lot of those playoffs. Weirdly, like I feel like I watched all the LeBron, Steph playoffs like in the prior years, all the Warriors runs, but for some reason that like 2-year run, I don't think I watched a ton. So this was new for me. Obviously, I knew who won. I knew about the game-winning Game 7 4-bounce shot. Like, I was on Twitter and seeing highlights and stuff, but watching the games was a new experience for me, and so it was a lot of fun. But Matt, what about you? What were you doing in 2019, May of 2019?
Yeah, so that was my sophomore year of college. I was also, so I don't think we must have different. Luke, were you in college? You were, right? This would have, yeah. We must have just had different schedules or something, because I was definitely still in school when this series was happening, but I was going to work at camp in that summer. So I did not see the finals because I was actively at Pine Cove. So what I remember most about this run is the Kawhi shot, because I was still in school when that happened. So I did kind of experience, or I still had my phone. I also gave away my phone when I was at camp. I did experience that. And then I remember Drake being a big deal
Yeah, sure.
which we'll get to. That is tied.
He shows his face a good bit.
Yeah.
He got some
Yes.
TV time.
Yes, it is one of the most like ball hog of the camera performances by a non NBA player I've ever seen in an NBA.
Yeah,
It's crazy
game.
how big
Taylor
he was
Swift.
back then. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was Taylor Swift Chiefs level. Like, wow, this guy is getting some screen time. But
it's also a little different because like NBA, he's like courtside. Like there's parts where he's like on the court. I'm like, Drake, we gotta sit down.
Right.
Bumping shoulders with the coaches. Just,
yeah. Calling plays.
I have a lot to talk about with the Drake. And then one of my best friends at camp is so random. He also lives in Houston. He's a huge Milwaukee Bucks fan, and so I can't remember if we were at camp or like I can't remember exactly what day it was when he found out that they lost, but he did have to find out, and we didn't get cool sports announcements like Ozark. They were too busy doing. I don't even know what. I guess.
Having fun.
I don't know. I would have loved that
maybe and enjoy each other's company.
But they really, I wish they would have done the Bucks announcement so I could have seen him live if I figured that out. But yeah, this was my, I don't know, third year or so really paying attention to basketball.
Okay.
And what really triggered me paying attention to basketball was James Harden. I was from Houston.
Makes sense.
I would say I'm now a Nuggets fan and have like gone back through the whole Nuggets history to like learn about this team. I feel more kinship as an adult to my Denver life, but Houston Rockets where I started watching basketball, and specifically James Harden. So in my head, because of the whole MVP conversation, Giannis is the antagonist of the NBA to me.
That is an interesting lens. Yeah.
And that has changed over time.
Right.
Well, now we're kind of in a weird like valley of Giannis, of him, Calci and the trade and everything.
Sure.
The trade saga, but long-winded answer. But I was at camp is the answer.
Gotcha. No. So I think, maybe now is a good time to just talk about everything that's going on elsewhere in the NBA. And now that you say that, that does, maybe trigger a reason for why this period I wasn't as locked into the later rounds of the playoffs. As the Thunder lost. The Thunder lost first round. So that was one thing that went on in this playoff. So Thunder lose to the Blazers. That's in 5 games with a huge Dame shot from 40 feet over Paul George. So that was certainly one notable thing, and also probably shows why I kind of unplugged from these playoffs and didn't watch them.
Luke, what was the Minnesota playoff run here in 2019?
I don't think it was good. I think they got Anthony Edwards the next year with the number 1 pick, so I can't imagine it being that great.
Right. Yeah,
dude, that's actually that's a good point, because I like try to think back in NBA history and what I've watched and stuff, and I'm like, if the Timberwolves aren't really relevant, then I really like kind of just didn't really care that much to watch. It wasn't my team and I agree. I did see like the Warriors Cavs. I was really locked into that era, but I don't know what kind of happened with, I guess
LeBron went to the Lakers. Yeah, LeBron went to the Lakers, and we kind of felt, we as in the basketball general audience, I remember this feeling like another Warriors year, and obviously they end up making the finals. And there's the KD injury and everything.
Was KD hurt? I was about to say, was KD hurt?
KD got hurt in this round. Wow. So they were playing the Blazers. Blazers made it to the conference finals. KD got the initial calf injury, I think, in that series, sat it out because they, might have swept the Blazers or 1-5, and then tried to come back for the finals against the Raptors. So that's also going on at the same time. Yeah.
Real quick interjection. Dude, isn't it crazy that Damian Lillard was leading the team to the Western Conference Finals just 7 years ago? Just 7 years ago.
Against
and now
Jokic.
It's like, dude,
against early Jokic. So that's definitely, that's a big what if for me is, and we could talk about it later, but is what Dame's a huge player at this time. He ends up with Giannis as like maybe some sort of missing piece. And we'll get to that, but that is an exciting talking point.
But Matt, you were saying something about the Warriors. Matt was saying something about the Warriors, I think.
I was just saying this felt, the narrative was
inevitable.
It was a very easy narrative of like LeBron versus the Warriors. Like that would, even non-basketball people in my life knew that was happening. And the narrative was it was messier this year. I mean, the Nuggets are the 2 seed. It's kind of a random 2 seed.
Oh, they were the 2 seed. Okay.
Yeah. Dame is the 3. The Jazz are the 5. Like it's a weird mishmash of teams. And then this is the Giannis' like first big year on the East. And I've kind of felt whenever there is like a new name, especially when it's, I mean, frankly, someone like Giannis, who is not American, as a name that's like looks weird on paper. Like he's just not like, we know now he's very marketable, but in the moment, it was like, okay, so what happened to my Curry LeBron? That was like really easy for me to understand. So I just remember feeling like it was a weird year and the general public was not as locked in. Also, it was a Toronto team, not American. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Giannis is one, and the next best team is Toronto, who they've always felt bland to me. I don't know why, but just I'm just like, I don't really.
Ever since they took away the purple.
Really, without the purple, they lost so much aura. They just, you can't even detect them when you read the standings. I never thought they could win. Honestly, I don't know, man.
Let's set the stage a little bit more, and then we can talk about the actual. The Bucks are the 1 seed. Giannis is the assumed MVP at this time, but I looked it up and they had not announced it yet. And you can actually, I don't know if you guys paid attention to this as much, but that's kind of how they were talking in some of these series. Is like, one play stood out to me, and it was in Game 3. Giannis airballs a free throw in like a pivotal part of the game, and the announcers are like, "You can't be the MVP and do that stuff," So he's the assumed MVP, but like this series might have maybe made it stick a little more, just because it hadn't quite been announced yet. So that was, I think, something, looking back at the exact timing of it, stood out to me a little bit. But Bucks are the 1 seed. They mowed their way through the first 2 rounds, both gentlemen sweeps. And like Matt was kind of referring, this is looking like a Bucks to the finals. They're the only ones who can compete with the Warriors. No one else is like that. Is what makes the most sense, especially after they win the first 2 games of this series. You're like, okay, this team's going to the finals. Like they're unstoppable. So then Raptors, on the other hand, they didn't have quite as easy of a time getting to this point. They had a pretty grueling 7-game series against the Sixers that took a 4-bounce game-winning Game 7 shot. They're tired from that series. Bucks are well rested, and it looks like Bucks are just going to roll. Raptors took the huge swing in the offseason, got Kawhi, who was fresh off a 9-game season with the Spurs. So it was like a little bit unknown.
Oh my gosh.
Not sure if this is going to work. OG Anunoby is out this whole series. I don't know if you guys realize that, but important player for the Raptors is missing in this series. It's pivotal. It's basically who's going to go to the finals and try and stop this Warriors, continued dynasty. That's what's at stake. So,
Kawhi trade is it's very similar to like, you're the guy who drafts Christian McCaffrey in like the 2nd round because he's an injury risk and then just wins the whole league. Like, getting Kawhi, because who did they give up for him? They gave up they gave up DeMar DeRozan, who frankly Raptors legend. I remember that being a big headline that they kind of cast him aside a little bit in the trade, and then they gave up Jakob Poeltl for Kawhi and Danny Green, and there may have been a pick in there. I didn't write down exactly what it was, but I imagine the Raptors would do that trade every day of the week, and then twice on Sunday. They would not have won the series without Kawhi and also without Danny Green.
It was proven, like they just kept getting to the finals and getting waxed by LeBron, swept.
Right.
So they were a good regular season team who just didn't have what it took to get over the hump.
Was there, correct me if I'm wrong or if y'all know, but I feel like I remember hearing that Kawhi told them he's playing in LA the next season, no matter what, is what he was telling people. He's saying if
was
you trade for
legitimately
me, it's going to be
rental.
1 year. Yeah, it's going to be 1 year. And he did sign there. But it's the weirdest. This is the most unique thing, and it just makes Kawhi even more of a what if in my eyes. Because I'm like, what
It's
if
such a
this
weird
dude played games?
Yeah.
What if he actually like was healthy for multiple years or 5 more years? Like,
it's one of the weirdest careers in the NBA that I can think of, at least in modern NBA, because he has two Finals MVPs. He eventually gets this one this year when they beat the Warriors. And then he has a Spurs Finals MVP, and he's got a skill set that most players don't have, with just the like perimeter defense, and he didn't pick up his shot until a little bit later in his career. Like, he just has a weird skill set.
it's insane.
But then in 1 year led a franchise that had never won before to an NBA Finals. So, like
very
with
unique
James Harden on the mind, it's like, okay, James Harden was like the best regular season player for like, or a top 5 regular season player for like 6 years in a row, but obviously never got that close to even getting a ring. So it's like it's an odd. Whereas Kawhi was hurt all the time. So how do you pick?
Yeah, I don't understand. It's the quietest 30-point average I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't even seem like he's shooting 30 times a game. And it's just random shot. Like, he shoots so many deep mid ranges, and it's still it'll just randomly
automatic.
like he'll look up and be like, okay, when did he score 10 this quarter? Like, how did that happen so quick? And even like his ball handling, there's nothing flashy about it, but it's on a rope.
No,
he has
he's
great
robotic,
hands.
dude. He's robotic. Yeah,
everything that he does is just I don't understand how, because he doesn't stick out to me as like, oh, that dude's different. Like, I feel like if someone watches a game, they don't even realize like who the best player is with him on the court.
No.
If you're just watching casually,
but just, I mean, some of his biggest plays in this series are like just defensive lockdowns of Giannis, which is like, it's crazy.
And then he limps over to throw the ball in or something. He's literally limping in between everything.
His knee is like already showing that, like, can this guy make it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up. Kawhi 9th in MVP this year. So I'd be interested to know the lowest your best player has been on an MVP. Like,
does anyone know how many games he played?
This season, he played 60 games.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, I mean, that's kind of a lot for him. His career, he played 72
I feel like.
and 74. His last year's, before the year he missed all of in San Antonio. And then, like, since then, that's his highest, 60.
Yeah, he's never been Mr. Durable.
No. Well, this season, he played 65.
Wow.
But a lot of 50s in there, just a 37. Like, he just hasn't really been back since, which is.
And another just like weird part of the legacy is he, right after Toronto, famously went to Southern California, like y'all were saying, basically to get the Clippers a ring. I mean, like, they kind of went all in with him and then Paul George, and we've seen the repercussions of that with the current Thunder team, that trade really, kickstarted. But Kawhi did not he took 1 year to get him a title in Toronto, and we're coming on year 7. The next year will be year 7 of Kawhi as a Clipper. And they haven't even really gotten that close, even though they were one of the favorites in the bubble. They were probably one of the favorites like next year.
The 1920 team was like their best opportunity. And that's the team that
the Nuggets came back from 3-1 to beat.
Yeah. So it is like, since this crazy year, it felt like Kawhi was the guy, but so I guess now's a good time to like just talk about the series as a whole. Now that we've kind of set the stage, what in your mind was this series? Because we all said we generally knew what was going on in the NBA, and obviously we knew what happened in the series. What to you, like, big picture, did it mean? And maybe a good way to think about it is like, what would you title this series? I don't know, Luke, if you had to title this like it was a movie.
I couldn't come up with a title, but it was the next man up, something like that. Because every single time that the Raptors were in these tight games, they would just like have one guy that would just like help Kawhi. It was just a random dude every game. It felt like just a random guy, and it was enough.
Right.
Like Norman Powell had a great game. Then Van Vliet finally came in and like I don't even know if he hit a three, and then he made 7 in Game 5. It was unbelievable because I did remember like Van Vliet getting hyped up a lot after this series or after this season, and it was a big deal that Houston got him and stuff. So like I was kind of on the lookout to see what was so special about him, but I didn't really see it until those last few games, and I don't know how he did in the finals. I'm sure he did great, but
you always make your money in the playoffs, and he had some big finals games.
Okay. Yeah, he was great. I don't know. It was I don't really know the perfect title for it, but I just thought it was so impressive how it was
something about the Raptors
team
just
of
being
just
a
like
nice balanced
it
team.
Just
that
felt
just
so
worked.
just like it felt like such a ragtag group. And I shout out to the Raptors for believing in Kyle Lowry for all those years and thinking that he could be a championship point guard because he was amazing. He was capable of leading a team to a championship. He did great.
I loved watching this Kyle Lowry series, man.
That was so fun for me.
So fun. He has this jump shot where he like perfectly he kicks out with both his legs in front of him, and then they kind of land like together. And I know that that's like quote unquote proper form, but he's just like so synchronous with
it. He does it different.
And maybe it's just that he's shorter. Like he's shorter than me, I think.
And I think he jumps pretty high or gets some good. I think just to get it up higher.
At the peak of his shot,
it's so good. No, he was awesome. Sorry, go Luke.
No, that's what I was just gonna say. He gained so much respect in my book. I'd never watched him play like real intense playoff basketball, but I was like, okay, I get why this guy's had such a successful career because he's awesome. I definitely.
He's always in the right place. You know, it's like I don't know, like a wide receiver who isn't super athletic or huge, but he's just like always open. I don't know, similar to that.
And his IQ is just so good. He just knows where
Takes
to be.
A lot of charges. Yeah.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything like stupid. He never. I didn't see him turn the ball over. I'm sure he had a turnover, but you know.
But nothing sticks out to me of him making a mistake by any means. He was great. But Matt, keep going. I want to hear what you got to say about it.
No, this Raptors team, what stuck out to me was like how deep the bench was. I mean, you mentioned it, Clark. They had OG Anunoby, who didn't even play, and yet they still had 3 basically like all-star. I think all these guys have gotten an all-star at some point. They had Fred VanVleet, Norm, Kyle Lowry, Danny Green, Serge Ibaka. Yeah, all these guys have gotten an all-star. And these are like not their starters.
Right.
And then Pascal Siakam, Kawhi at kind of the top end. Just such a deep team. And especially cohesive on defense. I think the real turning point was in Game 3 when they completely changed their game plan of how they were defending Giannis, which we can get to. But they basically had a game plan, and then they executed it, and then they had enough guys hit shots, and that was about it. And as much as a freight train as Giannis and Brook Lopez and all those guys were, the Raptors just got in the way and scrapped it out. And even though they were down 0-2,
I think that that resonates with me. I just remember this being like a win for, and I think of it this way now, just like a win for basketball team construction. Just because that was definitely an era where just because the Rockets had success doing it and the Bucks had success doing it, like the heliocentric, we have one star and then shooters around them, like. And that's just kind of how teams were, even like the LeBron teams.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them were like that. And that kind of basketball, I don't like watching as much. And then I felt like the Raptors just had like this nice balanced team where everyone had a role. And it was like more of a, I guess, stereotypical type basketball team role. And the fact that was able to win the title, that to me is kind of what sticks out about it was like a win for team construction.
Yeah, and something funny bouncing off of that, I feel like that was like how the Pacers that just had this finals run. I feel like they were the same way. And it's funny how Pascal is. I guess that's how he needs to be surrounded. But didn't he start playing basketball at like 17 or played organized basketball for the first time at 17 or something?
Yeah.
He was.
What was it, Matt?
He had soccer he played soccer for a long time, and I think could have gone to college or gone pro or something. Was late to basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. He was great too, but I just think that's funny how that kind of reminded me of that Pacers team when you said that, and I was like, okay, yeah,
totally.
That roster was kind of insane to think about.
I feel like
they were
also
all
dissimilar. Yeah, it's not also dissimilar to 2024 Celtics, 2021 Suns, a little bit 2025 Thunder. SGA is a little different than like Kawhi is.
It's not as ball dominant, but definitely.
They do rely on him to run the offense. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
It's not like the Nuggets, but Jokic there's not really players like him, so it's bad.
Yeah.
There's been teams that have had success recently, kind of in the Raptors mold.
Totally.
So that's aged well. I know we'll get to like specific categories, but I do think it has.
Yep, I agree. So I guess one last thing before we talk about the actual series itself a little more in detail, but what aged this series for you guys watching it back? Like while watching it, what jumped out to you like, oh my, this is definitely not a current game happening? Like, of course, some obvious ones are like familiar faces that are younger or at a different part of their career. Do you guys have any others? I have another specific one. Matt, do you have something?
Yeah. For me, well, I have some really specific ones. We'll talk about Drake. We can do Drake now. He was at the peak of his powers at this moment.
Totally.
He went. If you're reading this, it's too late. And then views, basically in like not back-to-back years, but like more or less back-to-back album cycles. And then while views was still basically in the charts, he was assistant coach for the Raptors, more or less. Six God, I remember just seeing Six God everywhere. Yeah, one of my student organizations in college had a something like if you're something this, it's too late, and it had the prayer hands. It was something specific to the organization. I don't remember what it was. I just remember like they had used the
that's hilarious.
What was it?
The meme
but he was like the number one. This was pre Taylor Swift's like full world like he was the world dominator, it felt like. And he was so Canadian in this moment, so that definitely aged it. The Raptors red jerseys in game 5 aged it for me. I know they still wear the red jerseys, but for something about it was so maple leaf that I just feel like I haven't, and maybe I just don't watch enough Raptors basketball, but in my head they're wearing white or black, and these are like pure red with a white stripe that looks like the maple, like it looked like Team Canada's spike ball me off too. Jerseys. There was just so many names that could be mentioned that are like, these guys just don't play basketball anymore.
Maybe we can go through some roster stuff after this. But Luke, was there anything else while watching that you're like just aged it?
Dude, what stuck out to me was it was game 1. As soon as I turned it on, I see Brooke Lopez, Nikola Mirotic, Giannis, Chris Middleton running the 2, Giannis running the 3. Like, it was so great. And Kawhi was running the 3. Like, that's just so different now. Those guys are just power forwards in today's game.
And Brooke Lopez was sprightly. I mean, he had a few like Euro steps underneath reverse lay, and I was like, the Brooke Lopez I know now.
Yeah, he was
rebounds and then shoots threes from way too far away.
Chucker.
Yeah. Like, that's my Brooke Lopez.
Yeah.
And this guy was moving and grooving.
He was fun to watch. Also, their short length. Really,
that's a good point.
I can't imagine any NBA player having shorts that long this season.
Yeah, and it
was just 7 years ago.
Right, just 7 years ago, and if you go back into the 2000s, it's unreal how long they are.
Yeah, right.
Like it was a steady, almost linear of the
Let's see. I think
shortening.
I might have had something else for. Oh, the Hulu has live sports timeout. That kind of brought me back a little bit to the passing the torch from. I don't know if cable was. I don't know when that torch was passed, but
it's probably
it was when the streaming services started doing the sports.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah,
but
I remember my house in college. We got Hulu for live sports, and I couldn't understand. I was like, "So,
dude,
Hulu has live." I just couldn't get it.
Yeah. The commercials help with
that. They did some like at least in the broadcast that I watched, some like pregame hype videos with like voiceover. They're like mini documentaries almost, not just like music hype videos of montages. And it was like, this is the series so far. It didn't necessarily, it's not necessarily 2019 specific, but it reminded me of that era of the NBA where it felt like there was a lot of effort around the storytelling of the league that I think has been lost a little bit, to probably just for social media purposes. Like, it's a little bit harder to do that. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that cool.
Should get brought back.
It does feel like the storylines then were a little stronger. Like, maybe it's just because we were so lucky with the Curry Warriors and the LeBron, dominance. Like, the story arcs like wrote themselves. And so it
Warriors
feels like,
LeBron is definitely a very specific one.
Yeah.
But like last year, Thunder Pacers, like that was insane storyline. And like there were some people some people were just not even aware why this Pacers run was improbable. And it's like, that was such an easy win for the NBA to just like 5 minutes before give me the rundown.
Show
and
them as
even
an
who the
underdog.
Thunder team is like,
they've been leaning on the star power for so long. Like they forgot how to actually tap into the cool narratives.
That's true. Dang. Man, y'all gonna make me say, I wish I wasn't thinking like that now.
So, okay, well,
I had
one thing that jumped
man.
out to me is while watching it was like, I don't know, you watch basketball now and a lot of calls just feel like they get made correctly. Like, they get fixed either in the review or if they catch it soon enough, they'll just change it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching one of the games and I was like, this is a wrong call that has an actual impact on this game and it's not getting reviewed. No one can challenge it. Like, that felt old to me. It was like a block charge call. I was like,
did you like that better?
Wrong.
For the flow of the game?
For the flow of the game, I suppose. No one, that was the thing that surprised me or like jumped out to me is the ref made the wrong call. And no one's complaining. Like, no one's asking for a replay.
No one's
because it's like you can't do anything about it. Which maybe that was better. Like, even though they missed a call, like,
I just hate when they all start spamming this every time. Like, just because it's close.
I think so. The take has been made before, but that should be as if you're calling a timeout. Like, if the motion for a replay should be as if you are challenging this.
Yeah, they got to do that.
Matt, in baseball, if you tap your head, that means you're challenging it, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't mean like, oh, that's a terrible call. Like, we should challenge it.
It's a great question. So this is the first year in the MLB where the head tap is like an official sign. It has been extremely well received. It's also worth noting that the coaches cannot challenge. It's a little different. It's just the pitcher, catcher, batter that can do it. Recently, I don't remember who it was, but a guy basically like put his hand up to like fix his helmet, and the ref or the ump took that as a challenge, and they lost the challenge because of it. Which, you got to draw a line somewhere. And I am also of the opinion that if an NBA player is calling for a review, that should be a timeout into review. And I like empowering the players in that way. And I know it's a little different because baseball, the guys are really far away, whereas the NBA, they're on the sideline. So it's a little different. But I think for game flow, for sure, this felt like a better game flow. I do like getting the calls more right. So I don't know exactly what the middle ground is there, but that's why I don't work for the NBA.
In game 6, I mean, that fourth quarter, it took forever the last minute. And it might have been because the replay people, they just weren't used to doing as much nowadays, but I feel like it did take longer than a replay now. Like,
and
it was a pretty easy call.
A larger discussion just about the end game basketball. and how sometimes the best games get ruined by just how the end of games are with it's incentivized to foul and so on and so forth. But maybe it feels like maybe they hadn't figured that out yet, because now it feels that way. It's like if you're up 3, you foul, and we're just going to be shooting a lot of free throws. It's been moneyballed a a little bit too much, perhaps.
Yeah, this was not an optimized series of basketball, which was some of the drama behind it.
Yeah,
I have one more thing of what like aged the series.
Sure.
So it was right after the series, I think, was when Giannis was announced as the MVP, and famously, immediately after, like 10 minutes after, the Houston Rockets official social media account posted basically a document detailing why they thought Giannis winning the MVP was wrong and why Harden should have been the MVP. And I, in my bias brain, was obviously like, let's go. Yes, stand up for your boy. Average 36 points. 30-point streak, whatever. That said, I would be surprised if a team did that nowadays. Like if the Nuggets post a Jokic document after he most likely doesn't win this MVP, even though obviously he's got. I wouldn't be
surprised. Really?
Okay. Just that really was aged it for me. So tell me why would tell me about that.
I mean, maybe last year was also a good race. So, that's some good data, but it felt like that was a particularly close race, and also between two players who didn't like each other. Like you said, like you kind of had to choose your camp, and they made it very obvious. They had very different playing styles, even though they're both a bit heliocentric.
You're talking Giannis, this past year.
Giannis and Harden. Sorry, back to Giannis and Harden.
Yeah.
That was a playoff, an MVP race that was close between two players that didn't like each other.
And publicly wanted the MVP. They both felt they deserved the MVP. Whereas some of our current stars are not as vocal about that.
True.
But that's what makes me think this year is like we haven't had a similar battle, kind of like the Shea and Wemby, where like it seems like these players don't like each other. At least the fans or the teams don't. And like Wemby's been a little bit more outspoken about, I think I should win because defense and this and that. So that feels like this. But I could see some Spurs content if he doesn't win. Sure. Or maybe some Nuggets content if he doesn't
I
win.
was thinking of it in a Nuggets brain, and they have just because it's Jokic, they have a little bit of a different approach. But Harden was definitely salty. I mean, he if you go back and look at his stats, I promise I'll stop talking about James Harden after this, but it is an unbelievable season, and I put it all into a video, so there's really no need for me to do it here. But he was salty.
He did some crazy stuff that year. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the series, y'all. So this, maybe it's easiest to talk about it a bit chronologically. So let's talk about games 1 and 2, and the Bucks. If you guys have any thoughts about what happened in games 1 and 2, why were the Bucks on such a hot streak? Why are they unstoppable? And what maybe weren't the Raptors doing that they kind of figure out? Luke, do you have any thoughts on the Giannis freight train?
I'm excited to hear Matt dive into the defensive change that happened to get just a little bit more insight from his brain and picking it out from an analytical point of view.
Sheesh, I better.
But
I'm gonna start writing my graphs. No,
I don't know what it was. I guess it was the defense that was really holding them back. But I mean, the Bucks, it felt like everyone kind of showed up those first 2 games, and it didn't feel like anybody was like off. Really, I don't know. It didn't feel like the Raptors could beat them there, if that makes sense. Like,
here's a question:
in Milwaukee,
Clark. So Chris Middleton was, largely viewed as Giannis's number 2. I cannot remember other than maybe 1 or 2, a single Chris Middleton moment from this series. I can definitely remember him in the 2021 run when they actually do win.
Yeah.
But this was a pretty unimpressive, even in the games they won. I thought this was a pretty unimpressive number 2 performance. What do you think about Middleton?
That stood out to me was how little help Giannis had and how little production he was getting. Obviously, Giannis gets shut down in this series, eventually. Games 1 and 2, he goes off and like other people show up. But I think that's kind of the main thing that changed is the others are not there for him. And so they're just, yeah, they built the Giannis wall, and that was
Brook
really...
Lopez went crazy in game 1.
Yeah.
And then in game 2, Ilyasova had 17, George Hill had 13, Mirotic had 15. So
the Ilyasova run was the big thing. Well, Giannis was he came out hot game 2, like so hot. He was like, you guys are probably not ready, and I'm going to run into you. And then Ilyasova was I think it was the second half or maybe the second quarter where he kind of just put it out of reach.
Yeah.
But Bucks were definitely going with, so they had the white jerseys, and they had some like all white lineups, or at least maybe 4 white guys and a light skinned guy. There was some light lineups with the Bucks were running these first 2 games
out there.
Connaughton and Ilyasova are pale. Yeah, they're quite white.
Like, that's what I'd look like in a Bucks jersey. Yeah,
Ilyasova's the closest thing to a vampire I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he could play a vampire in some little live action.
Gray skin.
What is that vampire TV show? What We Do in the Shadows? Is that?
Yes, I think that's what it's called. I haven't seen anything about it, but
he could fit in there.
He could be in there. But yeah, I think Giannis's team just kind of I don't know, Matt. Tell me about this defensive change, or what exactly happened come game 3? Because you were right, they did just stuff it up. They locked them down.
Yeah, it's nothing like too profound. They basically started putting a wall of people. It was kind of like a soccer formation. Like in soccer, they talk about like layers of defense, basically, because if you get past one doesn't mean you can get past the people right behind that. And all through the first games, Giannis was doing that classic, like the thing he's done. He's made his money on his whole career, like the big Euro step.
Yeah,
dicing them,
and like up and through someone.
Yeah,
which still, I mean, I've seen it obviously for like 7 years now, but it still looks insane. Like it is.
Yeah, he was just dunking. He was dunking on like.
It looked so easy.
He's running and dunking, like actually, but it was impressive. Yeah,
it looks like the Wemby step through now, but Giannis is like 6 inches shorter. Like he just has so much spring in his legs, but Basically, they started letting Giannis do the Euro step earlier in the paint, like up near the 3-point line, and then they had like 3 guys basically, and they kind of stopped. It was the 3 guys, 2 in the corner, 1 in the middle, and then the 2 guys were really not guarding the corner guys because they realized that Giannis would often not pass it out when he got through the Euro step, and there was just like a bunch of times they just, simply clogged the paint. And I know that sounds like a simple thing, but you can let Giannis, you're not going to stop Giannis's main move, but if you can stop that move from being that close to the basket, and this was before he had his jumper, like some of the Giannis jump shots this series are so ugly. So
this is like, that definitely
jumped out to me. It's finally developing. His 3-point shot is like barely finally developed. Like he made like
so
2
young,
in one
dude.
game, right? Like
he's still so early in his career. Like this is really the Giannis breakout. Like, and it's almost like this series wrote the blueprint on like, okay, now we know how to stop. Like he's been doing this to everyone all season, and they're just kind of figuring out like, okay, this is how you can stop this freak. Like he's literally like, he's insane.
Yes,
dude.
Sorry, look, just to tie the bow on it. I think the big thing was that like he lacked the like offensive awareness to. Once he gets through the step through, he was so used to like being under the basket basically. And it felt like he would do it. And then he'd see people in front of him and be like, okay, he wasn't spraying it out effectively or just like, okay, I guess I'll just settle for a jump shot. Like it just messed him up a bunch of times in a row. And it
starts turning the ball over
series.
A lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. And dude, if it was, what if it was, I can't think of another point guard, but man, if they had someone that could just shoot just a little bit better at point guard, like Eric Bledsoe, if he could just shoot just a little bit better, this series would have been so different.
A lot of open looks.
He got a lot of open. They were just letting him. They literally just were like, yeah, go for it. Like that's just such a tough. It's crazy now because they would never build a roster where Giannis has a super athletic point guard that can't shoot.
Yeah, right.
As his point guard. That's wild to think about. But it is just crazy that I don't know. It's just crazy that if he could
or even
shoot
if they
just a
could
little
have
bit better.
handled the ball, it's like it was like they needed Giannis to kickstart the offense most of the time, and they were trying different things down the stretch because while it wasn't working, but for all of Giannis's great qualities, he is still like obviously he's the star, but he's not like a LeBron or a Curry or someone where it's like, if the ball's in his hands that it's going to go to the right place. It's like, if the ball's in his hands, he's going to do something that Giannis is comfortable doing, at least when he was this young. And honestly, maybe even a little bit still now.
The late game stuff was tough. Like, so now maybe let's jump to game 3, which is a huge game. So all the stats say if you go down 3-0 in a series, you're done. So this is a must-win game for the Raptors, game 3. You're down 2-0. You obviously, they make a change. And like Matt alluded to, they basically decide we are going to build a wall and make him change something. And Giannis has a terrible game. He shoots like
5 for 16.
I don't have the stats are 5 for 16. Yeah.
12 points.
Awful. 12 points, 8 turnovers or something. Yeah. Very, very bad. And they're still in the game. This game is still tight in the fourth quarter, and Giannis is playing terrible, and they can basically win the series if they can pull it out. And so maybe we jump to the fourth quarter if you guys have any notes on it, but Giannis is very deferential. He doesn't score maybe at all. He's passing up shots. He's turning it over.
Also jump to the fourth quarter. Kyle Lowry fouls out at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even play the last, 20 minutes of this game or however long it ended up being. Like
huge Van Fleet minutes. Like humongous. He saves their season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of unlock something too. Like, I think they unlocked their depth probably is like what they finally figure out. Like, oh, we have a lot of people we can count on. And, the biggest game of a lot of their careers. Van Fleet's in there playing huge minutes. Siakam, who played terrible games 1 and 2 and early in this game. And
he was so big in the OT though. Yeah,
he
so big in OT.
And it's like
Gasol played really good in the first quarter of that game. And then I think he finished pretty strong too.
Yeah, so they got so many contributions. And then of course, Kawhi, fourth quarter, he's bigger than you could even imagine. Has 2 huge buckets in the fourth, 1 strip on a Giannis layup or putback or something. He really he daddied Giannis. He's like, you think you're the best? He's like, I'm taking over.
But the boards were the biggest thing I noted in game 3, other than Giannis fouling out, which was huge at the start of double overtime. But both Siakam and Kawhi get some crazy important boards in game 3, and not to jump too far ahead, they get some crazy important boards down the stretch in game 6. And so it's one of Giannis's best qualities is getting the board, being the number one guy there and underneath the rim. And that was, to me, the biggest factor.
So answer me this real quick. Was Norman Powell, was this his breakout series? Was this his breakout season playoff run? Because I thought I saw something in the 76ers series. He averaged, 3 points?
It definitely could have been a breakout. It's crazy how many players the Raptors have on their team that either played meaningful basketball prior to this, like Gasol and Lowry and Danny Green, and then players who have played meaningful basketball since then, like Siakam and of course Kawhi.
Norman Powell,
Norman Powell, who's been great on every team since. Van Fleet has been great for every team since. It's they just have a lot of winners on this team. And maybe
y'all like the Norm Powell t-shirt look, the black t-shirt.
It's kind of hard.
Oh yeah, I like that I did like that look. He was so fun. He was great. But we can keep going back to the fourth quarter. Sorry, I got us off.
Yeah, no, I think down the stretch, so it's a double overtime game. George Hill was hitting huge shots for the Bucks.
Yep.
Danny Green hit a big 3.
Danny Green hit a big 3. Middleton, I think they went to him. They drew up the play for him. It was either at the end of the fourth or overtime.
Brogdon played really great. A lot of big buckets down the stretch. Yeah.
Like everyone but Giannis. Like Giannis had some clutch plays. I think he had a clutch block and, some huge boards, but like they're just not even going to him. I think that jumped out to me in the clutch time. I was like, okay, they are deciding just to not even try this game. So that it was telling.
Well, so this was only I counted very quickly, like the 30th 2 overtime game in NBA playoff history. And the Raptors had not played a 2 overtime game before. They did win one the next year in the playoffs against the Celtics, but 2 overtime, understatement of the century right here. It's a long time, and you have to really manage like your fouls and your
people just start fouling out.
It's a fifth quarter.
You're not not used to
your tired legs.
Yeah.
And something about the Raptors just being just slightly deeper than the Bucks here. I was like, and also they're at home, so they're getting like that extra adrenaline from the Toronto crowd.
The back against the wall urgency, like they know it too. If they lose this game, their season's likely over. It's like they had to dig so deep.
Yeah, they're using everything they've got left.
Yeah. Yep. Rightfully so. And so, they pull it out. Do you guys have any more notes on Game 3, or we can move toward the part of the series where, the Raptors obviously tap into something they found in Game 3?
The only thing I noted, and we were talking about this, I think, before, was going into this, the Bucks, so obviously they were 2-0 up in the series. They swept the Pistons. They were 4-1 over the Celtics. Yep. Their point diff through the first 11 games was plus 168, which was either the second or the third highest of all time through the first 11 games in the playoffs. The other teams ahead of them were the 2017 Warriors, won the ship. 2001 Lakers won the ship. And the Bucks were the 1 seed. Like, there was no reason to believe this team was not a buzzsaw at this point.
Yeah.
I guess the only reason would be if you really believed that the Giannis playstyle had some counters. That's like the only qualm you could have had.
Yeah.
So while when you watch the game, it actually looks like the Raptors are like the better team, and obviously we know by the end of it they are.
Yeah.
On paper, this was a much bigger Bucks buzzsaw than I think I realized.
Yeah. 60-win team with the MVP. They were wrecking teams.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel that way now that we know we know what happens. So maybe we jump to games 4 through 6, which obviously
my little shout out from game 3. Malcolm Brogdon had the most field goal attempts for the Bucks.
Yeah, that's
crazy. That's
notable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He was great, man.
He was
so very solid. Fun to watch, man. Yeah, he's a special guy.
They went to him, like they basically chose him over Eric Bledsoe in the offseason because of probably this series.
Yeah.
Like he was the solid hand next to Giannis that we need.
Yeah, just so consistent.
Yeah.
I forgot he was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also had a weird career. He had a strange career.
Yeah. Any guesses on a basketball reference nickname for Malcolm Brogdon?
Jeez.
Good luck.
Steady hand.
Steady hand. Better than Bledsoe.
Malcolm in the middle.
That's a good one. No, they have Humble Moses, and then they have the President, which is a sweet one, but I don't have a
President.
Maybe
why
they think he looks like Barack Obama.
Oh, that's not a terrible idea.
That's not
terrible.
Bad?
I can't say it's not that. I don't know. Okay. I can't say it's not that. I don't know. Yeah, Brogdon was great in Game 3. He was one of the people that stepped up for sure as Giannis couldn't be relied on in clutch time. Do you guys have any notes? So Game 4, the Raptors take 118-112. Kawhi has 36. Giannis again, insane on the boards. He had 23 boards that game.
Dude,
like he was cleaning up.
He was eating.
Any notes? Any notes from that game?
The big thing for me was, and I think either Giannis fouling out in game 3 or this was like the turning point of the series. Like if I picked like a single one. So at 31-28, it's like midway through the second quarter, which is early middle of the second quarter, which is a classic time to like let your stars rest, get the bench minutes going. Like that's just it. I feel like Jokic is always sitting down at like 8 minutes in the second quarter. Like that's just anyway. And so it's just the bench, which as we talked about with the Raptors is still like a really good team. And 5 plays in a row, basically it's like a Raptors run and you can feel the crowd kind of energy building. So Powell pulls up, Ibaka gets an offensive rebound and puts it back in. Danny Green drives, Norm gets an and one, and then Serge Ibaka gets another like offensive rebound and puts it in. All of those obviously are like, plays that you get excited because you saw the guy get the board and put it back in or the and one, and the crowd's just building and building and building. And it was this run that this is when I started to think like Giannis might actually look nervous in this moment.
Yeah.
And it's hard. You're in your, opponent's stadium and the bench guys who you're supposed to be gaining minutes on or gaining points during these minutes just put up like whatever it was, a 14-0 nothing run or 14-2 run.
Yeah.
And that is when I felt the momentum shift. And maybe it's just because I was looking for it and I knew what the result would be, but that's what I noticed.
Well, also that was the game Chris Middleton scored 30 and they still lost by 20 points. So I was just like, okay, so this guy, they actually got him to show up on offense and they still lost by 20 I feel like that was kind of, I feel like they can play a little mental head game a little bit. Like, okay, we lost by a lot and I actually played good is kind of scary.
And unfortunately, that was not a great Brogdon game. After giving him a lot in game 3, not a great.
You can't give him everything.
Yeah, right. Not a great George Hill game. I actually read the wrong score to that. The game. I read the game 3 score, but yeah. So 120, 10, 102. So this was a blowout. Game 4 was, and certainly, like we're saying, a bit of a statement win. So it's 2-2 going back to Milwaukee. Game,
and this is when we see the red and white uniforms.
Yep. So game 5. Anyone have any notes on that? That is going to be a Raptors 105, Bucks 99 Raptors win.
Yeah, this was when I first started to. So this is when I do think Giannis started trying to make adjustments because he had been slowed down for. Well, I guess he wasn't fully slowed down for all of game 3, but game 4 he was definitely like kind of neutered. This is when I started to notice Giannis taking more jump shots, and this is when I started to notice Giannis's jump shot is still very ugly.
Yeah.
And it just he just couldn't get them to fall. And one thing that's going to come back to bite them a little bit later is they do run a few alley-oop plays to him where it's just like Giannis is up there somewhere, kind of throw it up there, and he makes most of them work. In game 6, that will come back to bite him, but it's like they're trying to figure some stuff out during game 5. I wasn't the most impressed with the coaching job from Budenholzer, right?
Yep.
That's who the coach was.
Yep. Coach Bud. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention the last game. I think it was the last game. Kawhi's dunk on Giannis, the lefty dunk.
Oh, yeah.
That was so gross. Matt, did you like that?
I don't remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, look it up. Kawhi lefty dunk on top of Giannis's head.
On top of his head.
That's all you got to look up. Yeah, that was the Van Vliet game, right? Game 5. That was the one that he went crazy. That was really.
Yep.
It's just watching Kawhi points. And Giannis very closely and just looking at what they can do athletically. Like, it's crazy. The way Giannis just like grabs the ball, or Kawhi grabs the ball like it's a volleyball. Like, he just literally will just grab it and like.
Yeah.
And then Giannis and his
rebounds, I noted that. Yeah. Kawhi would just go up and pluck it out of the air like it's an apple. Yeah.
No, that was what I had pretty much about game 5. Was it's just crazy watching. Even Eric Bledsoe had some stuff that I was like, dude, you are so athletic. Like, just the way they can move and how springy and quick, it's insane to watch.
Title of the video, I just watched the dunk. That was awesome. Kawhi Leonard shocks entire crowd and Drake with powerful dunk.
Drake.
Drake, he was killing
Dude,
it.
you know that got that video some views. Seeing Drake in the title.
Yes. Yeah. And thumbnail, yeah.
And thumbnail, nice.
All right, so yeah, that's game 5. Raptors up 3-2 now with a chance to end it going back home. In game 6 is awesome. Raptors pull it out 100-94. What do you guys have written down about game 6?
Yeah, so this they were really trading buckets there near the end, and man, I cannot believe Marc Gasol launched that corner 3 at like 88-89, and he just pulls the trigger on it, and it was buried. And the big men shooting was such a big theme of this whole series. Brook Lopez was obviously shooting a lot. Marc Gasol was like, the games that he played shot really terrible. The Raptors lost. The games where he shot really well, the Raptors won. And we've gotten more used to shooting big men now in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wemby shoots from deep. Like what's
even
Philly?
Jokic does.
Everybody
Jokic shoots.
He does.
Everybody
Embiid does.
shoot.
Chet does. Yeah, everyone can
Chet.
shoot. Like
Aaron
except
Gordon.
Gobert. Carl
Except
Anthony
Gobert.
Towns.
Yeah,
Nas
Cat.
Reed
you get play time now if you can't stretch
yeah,
the floor.
who
There are
can't?
just so
Walker
few guys.
Kessler, Gobert,
Andre
all
Drummond
the best rim protectors.
was pulling.
Yeah, Andre.
Yeah.
Donovan Clingan like added that to his game this year. I don't know if you guys watch much Blazers basketball, but he shot like 3 total threes last year, and now he shoots like 2 a game.
Now he's going.
You just like
And
everyone does.
It's crazy that everyone shoots. Yeah,
And if you had watched Marc Gasol like 5 years before this,
Mm-hmm.
this would have been the last guy you're expecting to pulling the critical
Yeah.
corner 3 at 88-89 in game 6, but he did. And then Kawhi got a bounce 3 right after that. Those were like the 2 plays back, or not 2 plays back to back, but 2 Raptors points back to back. And the announcer is like, it is from basically the same spot as the 76ers
Mm-hmm.
bounce in shot. So something about Kawhi shooting from the right corner
Yeah.
on that side of the
He's
arena.
gonna get that roll.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. And this is when, yeah.
I was just gonna say that stood out to me about rewatching old games, and that I would recommend to anyone is like, it's so fun to rewatch a game and you don't realize how many big plays happen and important plays happen that just get forgotten with time, which is so unfortunate. Like you're talking about these huge shots that we remember, like maybe 4 total shots from that year, and there's so many, like in these playoff games, there's so many big shots and plays that happen that just kind of get forgotten, which sucks, but also it's fun to. That's why watching sports is fun. Like this made me so excited for the playoffs this year because I've been watching so much NBA, and I'm just, big plays are going to happen, and hopefully I'll remember them.
Yeah. The other
else
thing,
about, game 6. Go ahead.
Sorry, I feel like I'm dominating the airwaves here, but the other like big shift right after Marc Gasol and then Kawhi get the threes. Kawhi goes up for basically another dunk, and then Giannis does stuff him on this one, but the ball basically falls right into Siakam's lap, and he puts it back in. I think that was either at 92-97 or that was the bucket that made it there. But I mean, that's a huge turn. Like if Giannis gets the block and then they, turn around, drive down the floor, it's like it's a 2-point game, and now it's a 7-point game. And right after that, this is what I was referencing earlier. George Hill has the ball, and I think Kawhi is on him, who has the longest arms, and he kind of puts his arm up, and George Hill basically just chucks it up to Giannis, and the pass was very errant. The Raptors get the ball, drive down the floor. And it was then that I was like, oh, the game's like over at this point. It's just, time ticks down, and basically Giannis got the block. That didn't work out for them. And then he got what should have been an alley-oop play. That didn't work out. And like, those are the margins in the playoffs.
Yeah. Luke, you have any thoughts
that was
about
crazy.
game 6 or the end of it?
It was really, I felt like Kawhi was, the ball was like, he was like a magnet to the ball. Every play on defense, every loose ball, He got 17 rebounds that game. Like, it just felt like both halves. He was like all over the glass and just involved so much without like doing too much. But I don't know, man. This was fun, and this Raptors team was special, and I am glad they won it all. Honestly,
and then they were broken up like immediately.
And then they were broken up immediately.
Yeah. Do y'all think Kawhi? Who do y'all if you could retire one person in a Raptors jersey, who's going to be the Raptors jersey? Is it Kawhi? Is it DeMar? Is it Kyle Lowry? Is it Vince Carter?
Yeah,
probably Lowry.
I think Vince Carter will get it. Lowry felt that like he gave the most. I don't know. DeMar got traded. It's not like he chose to leave.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. But Lowry, was there for the ring, and also a lot of those other years, he gave a lot to Toronto.
If they did that, if they retired Kawhi's jersey, that would be hilarious.
Just 1 year.
Thank you,
he
bro.
did what he came for.
Yeah. I when you were talking about Marc Gasol, he reminded me during this of like Al Horford, like that older all-star who's kind of like just has a high IQ and has kind of adapted their game to like this new style. But it was really fun to watch that because I love that older veteran that like can still make an impact. That's always so fun for me to watch. So like seeing Marc Gasol, like a dude I grew up seeing and playing on 2K or whatever, like have reasonable
and
minutes in 2019.
Like play style than his Memphis years,
Yeah.
So
cool.
This is probably a good transition, and we can talk about some categories, kind of looking back at the series as a whole, or talking about it big picture. But so I had a hot take about Marc Gasol, and it was actually from watching Game 3 in that first quarter that Luke talked about where Gasol went off. I was like, this guy is like 90% of Jokic right now. Like he was making insane passes. He had like the softest. Like when I think about Jokic, he just has the softest hands, softest touch around the rim.
So coordinated.
Like Marc Gasol has a lot of that.
Yes.
With just even the way he shoots is like such a soft touch. And I was like, that was my hot take about Marc Gasol. Is like, maybe if this guy just one of these years where he's kind of got the deep shot and slowed down a little bit, but like maybe if you just ran a lot of stuff through him, he could have been.
Dude,
a lot more than he was.
And he won Depoy.
If he grew up watching Jokic, if he was 10 years old right now, he would be special. He would see the blueprint that he needs to follow. That's just unfair.
I mean, obviously
he walked so Jokic could run, bro.
Right? Maybe so.
I wonder how many more talents we've missed out on.
Just because they didn't have the right
just because
people
they were tall and they were like, you can't shoot. You
model their game after it. Yeah. But obviously
like Serge even adapted. Serge was making jump shots and shooting threes, and he would have never done that in Oklahoma City, I feel like. At least threes.
Right. It was at the very end of his time in OKC, he started shooting.
Okay.
But the years before that, it was like he's a zero on offense. Like he's insane. Yeah. On the
Tip
boards,
dunk,
insane shot.
Dunk, yeah.
We can get him, some alley oops or some putbacks, but like we don't want him shooting, but he did. Like,
okay, I've actually got a question from some of the categories we had talked about. I want to hear y'all's best hang and worst hang. I need to hear y'all's opinion on that because I've got mine and I feel strongly about it.
I mean, for me, worst hang is. Kawhi's up there for it. Like he just doesn't strike me as he doesn't have a lot of personality, and sometimes he shows it, but he's got to be up there for worst hang.
I unfortunately have Nick Nurse for worst hang. He just seems like a tough one.
I've got Danny Green. I've got Danny Green for me
for worst
hang.
Wow,
he doesn't rub y'all the wrong way.
He was on my best hang potential list.
I was going to bring him up for best hang.
Okay. Y'all got to ask Rossi about that. I need to hear Rossi.
Rossi's a hater.
He's a hater, so he'll be on my side here.
Yeah, right.
But Danny Green, I think it bothers me how I think he just ring chased a lot, it feels like, or always just tried to be on like I think that bothers me.
Just because he's a winner? Just because he's won 3 times?
The rings chase him.
Because he loves to be on teams that are like number 1 or 2 in their division. He loves to join those teams.
That's such
like
bad
what he
quality.
looks for. Yeah, that's what, thank you, Matt. You get it now, bro. Thank you. All right, best thing, and it's okay if you say Danny. Did you
He
guys
just
see the
came
way
to
Danny
mind.
ran? Did you guys see the way Danny ran?
He doesn't have the nicest run, but he was like a 3-and-D guy for such a long. I feel like to be a 3-and-D guy and like know you're a role player, I feel like you got to have some humility.
No, he
Can't
went to UNC,
Yeah.
bro. He went to UNC. He has no.
That's true.
humility.
UNC legend. That's true. That's true.
He was good enough to be a Tar Heel. He doesn't. He can't have humility.
Probably Pascal. He seems like a cool guy.
Pascal,
Sure, that's not bad. Maybe like a George Hill.
George. Yeah, George probably cool.
Maybe a George
probably
Hill.
cool. I think I'm going Pat Connaughton.
Pat's probably cool.
Pat feels like a cool dude.
He's got good energy.
So impressive to me. Or Giannis. I mean, I would love Giannis. Would be so fun.
Giannis
And
does
I know
seem-
you don't want to hear that, Matt, but
No, Giannis does seem nice. He seems lovely.
Okay, so I would play 2K11 all the time, right? That was my favorite game ever as a kid. I loved to use the Bucks, and Ilyasova was my guy on there. So I low-key might be hanging out with my boy Ilyasova. I feel like Ersan's cool. The Turkish hammer.
You learned some Turkish. I don't know what language they speak. I'm sorry. You learned that for him?
Yeah, I can figure that out. But yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Ersan, bro.
Did
you guys see?
All right.
Do you guys
some
remember
other categories?
Clark,
Go
do you
ahead,
remember
Luke.
Bonzi Colson?
I saw a what did I see? Like a reel
Right,
about
no.
him or something, or maybe it was a tweet.
He played basketball with Pat Connaughton on Notre Dame. And then this was his only year in the NBA. And I saw him on
Really?
the sideline there in one of the games, like dressed out. But I was like, I bet Pat put in a good word for his boy to get him a roster
Got him a
spot. He doesn't-
contract. That's huge.
I think he plays in Europe now. When I looked up his name, it was showing like stats from a recent game. But it was cool to see him on the sideline. And I looked it up. That was his 1 year in the NBA.
Matt,
Speaking of
any
the Giannis
other,
thing,
go ahead.
sorry. I was going to say, I think it was the year after this that Thanasis gets his contract.
Oh, Thanasis got Bonzi kicked off the team.
Yeah. So
that spot. Giannis
They
is our guy,
probably
and we need
Giannis.
that spot.
Giannis, if you get an MVP, we'll let you add anybody to the roster. That's probably
And he cashed that in.
why he wanted
Fair
it so
enough.
bad, Matt.
Yeah.
yeah.
Matt, did you? So Luke saw Bonzi Colson. Did you see anyone on the bench that you're like, oh my gosh, that's so and so?
You know, I didn't. I was looking for OG during the game, like just to see what he was doing. I don't know what he was wearing. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't yet. I was OG like in the building, and I just missed him because I did not get an OG sighting.
I forgot he was on the team. I didn't realize that, and then I never saw him either. So
Maybe
I was
he
looking
didn't
for him.
travel.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
forget
just
what
the
was
thing I
wrong with him.
noticed.
yeah, what was his injury?
I think it was like, why do I want to say it was like appendicitis or something? So maybe he actually was like not able to travel and not
under the
able to sit
knife.
on the bench or something. And I could be completely wrong about that, but I do feel like that sounds right to me.
Clark, who'd you see?
I mean, Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin was
yeah,
a big
Jeremy
one. That was
Lin.
like,
yeah,
I can't believe
It
Jeremy
was
Lin got a ring
appendicitis.
with this team.
that was so cool.
It was
And did you
appendicitis.
see-
Okay, so maybe
well, no.
that's why.
Did you see Game 6? You see Pat McCall over there cheesing?
Pat McCaw, dude.
Pat was hot.
Now that's
bro.
a
He
ring
was so
chaser.
happy.
That's a chase ringer. He was 2 for 2, right? I think his first 2
Yeah, I
years,
don't
or maybe
know.
it was 3 for 3.
I know he got
because he
one.
won 2 with the Warriors.
Did he get 2 with the Warriors?
I think he got 2 with the Warriors, and then his third. I think he was like 3 for 3, which
That's
is,
the luckiest, funniest career path in NBA history.
Yeah.
If that's
and then he did nothing.
the fact that he
Nothing
got
since.
2 and probably played 4 seasons is wild.
Yeah, I guess career arc is a good. We could talk about some other guys' career arcs. Like we've mentioned a lot of Brook Lopez, but I would say probably near the peak, maybe in the 2021 on the Bucks team, he kind of got a little better, but obviously right now he's worse than that version. Siakam was on the upward trajectory, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was he MIP this year or was that the year before?
I think it might have been the year after. I can't remember.
Yeah, I would say that
But
year or the year after.
Either
Probably
way,
that year.
he's very much on the up. And then
Yeah.
has now been a pacer for,
and I feel like he's been better as a pacer.
Right.
He's
And
been a great
I feel
pacer.
like
He's become so much more
looking
skilled.
back at that time, we maybe underestimated how important of a player he is now that he's been like the second man on another finals team.
That's really cool. I wonder what that does for him in any sort of all-time conversation or whatever. Like,
yeah,
he's such a 2025 like NBA archetype too now. Like,
yeah,
he's long, he moves really well laterally, he can handle the ball if he needs to, and he can shoot.
right.
And
doesn't turn it over a lot. Like very decisive. Not an awesome like high volume playmaker, but like
right.
if he gets the ball, he's going to take a good shot or pass to an open guy.
Pascal's a good hang, Matt. Pascal's a good hang.
Thanks, Luce. Thanks.
Yeah, that was good looks.
Giannis obviously was arrow pointing up. He won another MVP, obviously won a title since then.
And is it going down now? Has it just been
probably on the way back down? It seems.
Yeah.
He was. I know a lot of stats about Shea.
Was he fourth in MVP last year?
Maybe third.
Third.
He was third last year.
He's still
this year. So yeah. So Shea is the first person since MJ to have 4 30-point seasons in a row. And then I saw that Giannis was 0.1 off from also being on that list. He had one 29.9 year and then 3 30 years. So yeah, he's had a sustained long peak, Giannis, since then. But perhaps on the way down now, hard to know.
I wouldn't be against seeing a Giannis run again.
So now maybe is a good time to talk about what I teased earlier, but in my mind, Dame is such a good fit on this team. Like someone who is like a dead eye, ball handling,
can create.
Yeah. Like can not great on defense. Giannis can kind of make up for that with his defensive prowess. And then like end of game guy. Like Giannis still isn't like a great end of game guy. So like I would have loved to see, maybe this Dame with that Giannis would be really cool for me. They kind of got the end of Dame.
It's a bummer that the Dame Giannis experiment, or it wasn't really meant to be an experiment, but ended up being an experiment, just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool on paper. But Dame just never looked right in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. So
no, he
it's
didn't.
So cool. I respect Portland for just bringing him back in and everything. Like everything's all cool and understandable, and they probably shook hands and were like, "Hey, man, go try to win. We can't win right now, dude. Go on.
Yeah.
You can come back here whenever you're ready." But
well, yeah, we'd love to have you. Thanks for sticking around this long.
Yeah, dude, get out of here, please, for your sake.
Yeah. And then now he's back. Like he's probably like, "Hey, I went and tried." Like it's like a couple that gets back together. Like somehow it works out, or they break up.
Yeah,
like, hey, the timing's not right. Let's meet back up when we, whatever, date around. Any other roster what ifs? Like, obviously the Kawhi one is like, what if Kawhi stayed with this team? I think that's a cool what if. What if they ran it back really after winning this
with OG?
Hard to know. With OG, Kawhi the next year was like 5th in MVP. Like he had a great year the following year, and kind of inserted himself into that. Like because he didn't play enough for the regular season, he wasn't, up for the MVP. But come playoff time, you're like, we've seen what this guy can do when it's playoff basketball. So it's an interesting what if.
Another roster what if is just the Bucks not breaking the team up, because this is the same nucleus that wins in 2021. So
yeah,
they could have easily been like, oh, that we didn't, we weren't able to really figure it out against the Raptors. Let's blow it up. And we've seen teams that have done that. It's not an easy, or it's not a hard thing to think. So, but they kept it going.
Yeah, they must have seen what they were capable of. Like, hey, Giannis is still getting better. It seems. It took them building a wall on defense for them to stop us, and they still bear it. Game 3, couple bounces go differently. Like we win that series, maybe we win the chip. On that same note, I'll do this one and then I'll pass it over to you, Luke. But I think a huge what if what if that Game 7 Kawhi game winner doesn't fall? The Sixers win the series. Sixers go on to play this Bucks team. Hard to know. But maybe like there's a timeline where the Sixers win that championship. I don't think that's that. Only a couple of different things have to happen for it to fall that way, and that would change a lot about NBA history.
It's so hard to imagine Ben Simmons with a ring at this point. Yeah. Obviously, he was amazing and deserved all the accolades he got in the moment. But, now he's a competitive fisherman. So
he's a nothing. Yeah. Luke, any what ifs, roster what ifs, timeline what ifs?
Not really. I mean, I was just thinking, just in general, with how well Malcolm Brogdon did play, and such a big storyline was he hasn't been healthy, he's been hurt. This is his first game starting since his injury. Just if he was fully healthy, because I think he played so well, and when Chris Middleton didn't step up, he was. And so I don't know. And I mean, you could say the same thing about Kawhi probably, but that's probably just going to be forever. Is what if Kawhi was healthy? That question we'll be asking forever. But that was pretty much all I had, was just what if. And I don't. Did you guys think Mirotic was playing that bad? What did you guys think about his minutes getting just completely cut randomly? Because I think they needed shooters. I think they needed somebody to space the floor, and I don't know, but I mean,
because he played great in the series prior,
in the first half.
I think looking back at that, if I remember correctly, jumped out as Mirotic had great series prior, and he had a great game in the game the Bucks won. So it's like, he might have been one of the big X factors of this team that either whether he got benched or whether the games he played bad, they lost. Like,
I think just having his veteran, a veteran out there that can kind of score and create on their own. Like, that's what he was kind of doing in my eyes. Like, he was looking for buckets, and I think they just needed more of that. But I can't remember what I was going to say. So back to you, Clark.
Unless you guys have any other thoughts on the series as a whole, I think the one last category I want to talk about. Well, first, do you guys have any other thoughts, or you want to move on?
I do remember what I was going to say.
Go for it, Luke.
You guys were talking earlier about like players playing with LeBron and Giannis and like the difference in all of those people. George Hill, the difference in him in a Cavs uniform with LeBron to this was crazy. He played so much better, and it seemed way more confident. And then I started thinking, I was like, this is an older version of him too, which is wild because he honestly played better in my eyes, which was
he had a
weird,
little more of an unlocked role. Yeah. A little more freedom.
Probably that. But yeah, he did seem a lot more loose and comfortable. And I don't know.
I think it's notable that this was like a unique champion. We went Warriors, Cavs, Warriors. And then from here, we have never had a repeat champion since 2019.
The start of a trend.
Yeah, and all of those teams have been made up of like, obviously like different groups of players. It's not like it's been like LeBron winning a bunch or whatever, or Jokic winning a bunch. Like it's been we have Steph in 22, and then Jokic, and then the Celtics, and then the Thunder, and it's like, every year we just had a different story, which to your point earlier, Clark, is like maybe why the narrative feels a little messier nowadays in the NBA and why it's harder for people to like connect. So this Raptors team feels like such an oddball champion that this feels like the most oddball, and then we just go into a bunch of like unique champions in a row.
And I think, and maybe this shows what I think about it, but I feel like it's a common narrative to play revisionist history of like, if Kevin Durant didn't get hurt, if Klay Thompson didn't get hurt, the Warriors win this one. And then, maybe that is another what if, but I think that is a little bit, it's kind of steeped in that sort of asterisk kind of, hard to know, unanswerable question, but I guess I got one last category that I think would be fun to do, fun to think about in anything you rewatch or in any basketball thing is, what does this mean for the GOAT debate? I've got a couple thoughts. So what does this mean? Like, where's LeBron? And I had to go look it up because I was like, what was LeBron doing in 2019?
It's not pretty.
And it's weirdly like a forgotten year for him. He was second in MVP, but like,
yeah, that's true.
The Lakers were bad.
They were the 8th seed, or they missed the playoffs.
I think they missed. Is what I have.
I think they missed the playoffs. They were like 28 and 27 when he played, so he didn't play a ton. I think that's. I'm not sure. This
was when the whole LeBron GM kind of narrative started happening, because he was like, he's like, okay, I played really good.
Yeah.
The rest of my team sucked, and while I like living in LA, we got to figure something out here. So this is when we start, like, in some ways really good, obviously, Anthony Davis and a lot of the pieces of the 2020, Danny Green, the 2020 title run. He's like, let me go get a ring chaser. Let's get Danny.
Bring him in.
I'll call Danny. I'll let him know we're assembling a team.
Yeah. And then, of course, Russell Westbrook is not a good example of the LeBron, dictating. But I feel like that's the turning point where LeBron was like, okay, I did all I could with the Cavaliers, and I really did all I could in 2018. I'm going to do my thing in LA.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
wait, I got to start. Yeah. I hate this team.
I hate losing. I hate this. We got to figure this out. So, and then he won a ring. So, worked out, I guess.
But it is interesting. Like, this series specifically in this year, it is an interesting time in the LeBron. It was like definitely a transition between his dominant years into this Lakers kind of chapter.
It's between his like third apex and his fourth apex.
Yeah. And he wins a ring after this. It is kind of crazy.
All right, I got one question that I need y'all's NBA brains on here. Is Kyle Lowry the shortest player to be like the second best guy on a championship winning team? Like, is there a shorter guy who's been that critical to a title, a ring winner?
Like Kyrie's a little taller, I think, right?
Maybe slightly taller. I have written down that Kyle Lowry is 6 foot nothing.
What about the main guy being Allen Iverson? Wait, did you say championship winning or a final?
Championship winning.
That
is a fair one, because he was obviously
he couldn't win though. Right.
He couldn't win, which is
a finals game. Jeez, it might be. I mean, I'm not sure how short. Like, Tony Parker's definitely taller.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah,
and he was really
old.
Yeah,
he was really doing the Pitbull thing, man.
Who was Olajuwon's best
strong
teammate?
Who was Hakeem's guy? Oh, that's an interesting question.
I think it's Mark or Steve Smith, or what's his name?
Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith, yeah.
Was Kenny was that his second guy? I knew he was like a point guard.
He's a point guard
for the Rockets.
I don't know if
Kenny's still he's not 6'0" though.
And he probably wasn't the second best player. You're right. He's probably just kind of like a Mario Chalmers type.
Yeah, he's probably
role.
like Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I guess Steph is obviously 6'2", 6'3", a little taller.
Yeah.
Like 6'0" is just
that's
short.
That's a good thought.
That is crazy.
We'll submit that question to our listeners if you guys have a thought.
Who was Daryl Dawkins running with for the 76ers?
Did they win a chip?
World be free? I don't know.
World be free. That's all I got for that, guys. That was a lot of fun to rehash. I mean, again, like I said, watching this playoff basketball got me so excited for this upcoming playoff basketball is something different. That's when narratives happen, y'all. That's when legacies get made.
Every play matters,
such as Kawhi's legacy relied a lot on this series and a couple plays here and there.
Dude, and honestly, Toronto sports, like, generally. So
totally.
Who y'all got this year?
That was a lot of fun.
Who y'all got this year?
I'll take the Thunder.
You going Nuggets, Matt?
Luke, I'll let you answer first, Luke.
I'll go. I realistically don't think it's the Wolves. I'll say that for fun, but I low-key got the Celtics, boys. And I really hope it's not true, but I fear.
Dude, I hope it's Thunder Celtics. That will be an awesome series, I think.
That would be insane. What do you
good
think,
series. I realistically predict the Thunder will win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the Pistons have a chance to make it to the finals?
Oh yeah, to make it to the finals.
Totally.
No,
If you're listening, yes. If you're watching,
I think the Pistons have a chance to make it to the finals.
Okay.
But when James Harden beats them in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be glorious.
James and them.
James and the other guys from Ohio.
Yeah. Oh man,
Nice.
that was fun, fellas.
that was fun. Hey, if you're listening to this and you want to hear us do a different series or a different game, let us know. I mean, it was, like I said, it's fun to watch back sports because it transports you back to that time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone
Think about
submit
what
a
was going
baseball
on.
game so we can make these guys watch some baseball.
Yeah, I'll do a baseball game.
I watched a Dodgers Yankees game, World Series, one of them I call it.
Scrappy
and it was
underdogs.
electric. It was electric.
We could rewatch the 3-0 comeback by the Red Sox. That would be kind of fun.
That'd be crazy.
If you want to hear us
All
do
right.
that, let us know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, signing off here at Field Guide. It's been Clark, Matt, Luke. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
Peace.